Howdy, 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 and welcome back to the Garden Nerd. On today's episode, I'm going to be harvesting the garlic. And I'll show you, the basic stuff of what to do, how to dig it up, and like how to store it and that sort of thing. Alright, let's get started. Alrighty, so this is my little patch of garlic, and by little I mean, fairly decent sized here. I planted the garlic that I saved from last year in this spot, and I kind of marked it out with the solar light here, which you can kind of see that's got knocked down, and some stakes that I used last year to make the truss. But like right in there before was the beans, so it should be pretty good. I added compost and a bunch of mulch, which now is pretty much just, gone, because I didn't really mulch up too much more throughout the season, which I probably should have, but you do what you with what you got. So this little spot is about 3 feet by 5 feet, so about 15 square feet. They're kind of dense. There are some good-sized garlic that I used and some smaller ones. The smaller ones obviously have an actual smaller stem here. So some of these ones, like right up here, are pretty thin. These are pretty thin stalks. And then there's some thicker ones here and there, which will probably have the bigger bulbs. So I'm gonna get to digging. So let's watch. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna start from this side and just work my way kind of over and around. The reason for that is just because I have other plants and stuff growing here. I got tomatoes and volunteer zucchinis. So I'm just gonna kind of clear up some of these stakes to get them out of the way. Alright, so basically, what you're going to want to do, because, my ground isn't so loose that I can just yank these up easily, is when you go about 4 inches away from them, put the fork down, and just kind of loosen up the soil around them. I'm going to do this all the way down and around. Now, the reason you wanted to do that was so this way, when you pull them up, you can kind of try to get under them a little bit and pop them up out of the ground. So we're going to get some garlic now. Alright, we're getting some decent sized ones here. Another good one here. Now this one I'm going to actually probably try to save and replant, because I didn't cut the scape off, so it's kind of going to seed. So I'm going to try to replant this somewhere. Probably in a different spot, so then it might be able to go to seed and I can try to save seeds. Alrighty, so now that I've pulled all the garlic, what I end up doing is I split them into 2 separate piles. These will be the bigger ones, some decent sized ones like this one right here. You can see that one there, how it's separating. That means it's not great for storage, so you're going to want to use like this one first. So that was in the big pile, and I'm going to put it into the smaller pile. Now the smaller pile has smaller bulbs. These I'm going to use more frequently, like right away. They're still going to be cured, so they last a little bit longer. They're all going to be cured except for the ones that are splitting, like the one I showed you. The reason for that is, like, this is like ping pong size ball size. You know, I can put it, you know, between my two fingers. Planting these, you'll still get garlic. You'll probably get garlic closer to this size, because that's what I did with a lot of these. In the smaller pile, they're actually a smaller cloves of garlic. So when you plant the garlic, you know, you just pop them apart. Here, I'll just rip this one apart since I'm already doing it. So you would just kind of snap it apart like that. This is a pretty good clove, obviously, because, like, this is the one that was splitting. But you plant that there, downward, pointy side up, and then down here is where the roots would come out. But if you use bigger bulbs, kind of like this size here, you're going to get bigger garlic. So, you know, you can get some nice big size garlic. That's more of a golf ball size. You can tell also how thick the stem is. The thicker the stem, generally the bigger the bulb's going to be. But, you know, I wanted to get a lot more garlic, so I used pretty much all the garlic that I had from the prior season, because I saved most of it. I ate some of it, was good. This is a garlic hardneck variety. But yeah, you can see how diverse that is. So we have this one here, which is pretty small, comparatively to, I think this is like the biggest one that I have. You know, you can see the difference clearly. Like, this came from a small little clove, that's why the cloves are, you know, smaller. This one came from a much more sturdy, bigger bulb, kind of like this. You know, other factors will, you know, do it. Soil nutrients, soil moisture, the amount of sun, particularly. Because a lot of the smaller stock that I had came from a more shady spot in my garden. So, you know, keep in mind, garlic likes the sun. You can still get garlic in more shady spots, but they're much, much smaller. Okay, so another nice close-up. This is splitting. This is how I pulled it out of the ground. You can see that they're separating. This is what happens when the plant starts dying off too much. And you can see, like, this one doesn't seem like it's dying that bad. Like, it's only a couple of leaves that are browning. But basically, this was in the soil for too long for its want. So basically, it's going to separate. And then you get a bunch of garlic that would be crowded together. So you want to get a lot of big garlic, but you have a lot of garlic plants. Alright, so how I bunch and hang up my garlic is pretty simple. I get some garden twine, rope, jute rope, whatever. Alright, so I got it. So what I do is I just take about a handful, an arm's length, body length or so I should say. And I just cut it there. Then I take a bundle of the garlic, and what I just do is I just taper them a little bit, so almost like it'd be like a cord, or not a cord, if you're doing a braid type thing. And you just kind of stagger them a little bit so they're not quite on top of each other and they're going to get a little bit of air. And then I just kind of hold it in the middle. Then I take my cord and I just kind of wrap it once or twice, tighten it up, and then I just tie it. It's nothing too, you know, difficult there, but there you go. And there you have it. Now it's just going to sit on this string here. There's going to be airflow between these guys. As you can see, they're not like completely sitting on top of each other. You can even, like, you know, brush them out a little bit more. You could trim the roots now, or you can leave them on and just trim them off later. So now you're just going to go through that. I'm going to do the rest of these. So again, what you just do, kind of have them tapered off. Take your hand, take your string, wrap it around once or twice, tighten it, and then tie it. Just, you know, 2 knots is good. You don't have to go too crazy. If you want, you could do a slip knot, but I find that it's just easy enough because once they're dry, I'm going to cut them off, you know, leaving a little bit of the stem, maybe a couple inches. But then, yeah, there you go. Another one to hang. Alright, so I'm just going to do the rest of these. See you when I start hanging them. Alright, so we're in my garage. Forgive the mess, it is a messy garage. So basically all I've done is I've just hung them up on some screws that I've had. Just up and down here holding up these like Christmas lights because I don't have power out here. Just, you know, little add light when I need it. So yeah, they're kind of just out of the way. They won't be getting direct sun. My window and my door are open over here. And the back of the garage is just wide open. So they're going to get the airflow that they need. So yeah, I'm just going to hang one more bundle up. So yeah, and then that's basically how we're going to air dry them for the next 2 weeks or so. Alright, so I just wanted to show you this here, just how I kind of wrapped it up. All I did is I went around the screw and I wrapped it around a couple of times. And then I went back down the line and then I wrapped it around the main string, brought it back up, wrapped it around the screw, and then I brought it back down and wrapped it again. This way it's just like less knots and you can just unravel it. So this way you don't have excess, you know, string tied to your screws and whatnot. So this way you could use it again the following year. Or for whatever else you need to do, and you don't have to worry about all the extra string just sitting on there. Because I've done it before in the past where I've had to, you know, try to cut it off like really close to a screw, and it just doesn't work well. So that's just a nice little tip for you. So keep that in mind. You can just wrap it a couple times, and it's pretty secure. I haven't had them fall or anything. Alrighty, folks. So once you have the garlic hung, you're just going to leave it there for 2 weeks with some airflow out of the sun. That's why I popped it in my garage. Right over there. So just, you know, leave it there. The outside papers will be nice and dry, and then the inner garlics should still be moist with all their delicious oils and stuff in there that makes garlic so delicious. So that's how you harvest the garlic, that's how you hang the garlic, and then you just gotta wait the 2 weeks, and then they're, you know, nice and ready to be stored. And you just store them like you store, you know, your garlic at home that you get from the store. You just keep it in a, you know, dark, dry, cool location. So this way it doesn't, like, start growing. Because otherwise, you know, you've probably seen them, at least I have. The little garlics that you forget about behind the thing, and there's a little green thing. Yeah, that's like the little garlic growing again. So keep that in mind. The other good tip that you want to do if you're going to save the garlic is those big bulbs that I showed you. You want to save those for planting. Like I said before, you can plant the smaller ones, but the smaller cloves equals smaller bulbs. I'm fine with them. I don't know exactly how many I'm going to save. I grew approximately like, I don't know, let me think about the math here. About 50 ballpark in like a 5 by 3 foot location. So like, you know, 15 feet, that's like 75 bulbs. I'm probably going to try and save enough to kind of do like, I think maybe the front row here. I'm thinking I might do that. I don't know. It's how the garden goes, right? All right. So thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, share, all that fun Facebook stuff. And I promise I'm going to actually get to doing the garden tour. I promise. I swear. All right. Bye.